영어에 영도 모르면 일로 와. 여러분! Happy New Year, everybody! You know, 2019 is the year of the pig, which symbolizes fortune and riches. So may all of us work hard and prosper in this new year. And for many of us Koreans, 우리 한국 사람들, 우리 국민들, 특히 오픽을 해야 되는 한국 사람들, 다들 원하는 점수를 받자.
Can you tell me about the last time you had some free time? When was it? What did you do? Did you spend the time with someone?
Okay. I went to Swiss with my sister for about a few months ago, and it was freaking awesome because I got to go skydiving. And talking about it makes me want to call on my sister and go there again. Anyway, we stayed there just for a few days, and I didn't have that much time to travel. So I had no choice but to choose only one activity. And if only I had more time. Anyway, I decided to go skydiving as my main activity. And believe it or not, I didn't feel nervous at all before I went skydiving. But when I was about to jump, I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this, I can't. And then I think I passed out for a few seconds, and then when I woke up, and it was the most thrilling thing that I ever experienced. And next thing you know, I was on the ground. And you know what? After this test, I think I should have called my sister for round 2.
Okay, so the first half of her answer is actually quite good. Her message is very clear because her main point is super good. She talks about skydiving, and anything she says now makes that skydiving point bigger and bigger. Now the problem I had was with the second half of her answer. You can see that she was actually focusing on trying to fix her grammar instead of making her message clear. And this is the problem with many OPIC students. 더 잘 하려고 노력은 있지만 근데 어쩔 땐 그 노력을 그냥 버리는 게 훨씬 더 낫습니다. 예를 들어서 어쩔 땐 남자들이 이렇게 하잖아요. 나 어떻게 하면 도와줄 수 있을까? 그 다음에 여자들이 어떻게 대답합니까? 아무것도 안 하는 게 도와주는 거야. Okay, maybe that wasn't the best example, but never forget this. When you are answering an OPIC question, you have one main goal. 그 목적은 완벽하게 대답을 하는 게 아닙니다. But instead, your goal is to make your message very easy to understand. If you keep trying to fix your grammatical mistakes, your message will deteriorate. Please do not do this.
Okay. I went to Swiss with my sister for about a few months ago, and it was freaking awesome because I got to go skydiving.
Okay. She takes a moment here and then she continues on. I like that. This is a very good technique. And then she says, I went to Swiss. Rachel meant to say I went to Switzerland, the country itself. If you say Swiss, you're talking about things from Switzerland. So for example, Swiss chocolates, Swiss people, Swiss cheese, Swiss army knives, whatever. Anyway, she continues on. I went to Swiss with my sister for... And then she pauses because she's thinking about her grammar here, but the problem is she really wants to say a few months ago. So she realizes she made a mistake. You cannot say for and then a few months ago, for about a few months ago. That's a little bit weird. So she tries to correct herself. About a few months ago. The problem is for and about, that's a little bit confusing, but she didn't try to keep correcting herself. Instead, she moved on, which is very good. 여기서 다시 하려면은 for 하면서 그 다음에 filler을 넣으세요. 예를 들어서 I went to Swiss with my sister for I went there about a few months ago. 이런 식으로 하면 조금 더 메시지가 clear합니다. Anyway, this is what she was trying to say. I went to Switzerland with my sister about a few months ago. Now over here, many students make a mistake because they don't show how they felt about it. They just stop right here and then continue on with their answer. 근데 우리는 main point 할 때 어떻게 하는지 알죠? As soon as you state the point, explain how you felt about it. So in this case, how did Rachel feel? She says, and it was freaking awesome because I got to go skydiving. She mentions how she feels. 어떻게 느꼈습니까? Freaking awesome. 여기 freaking 그거는 좀 슬랭입니다. 솔직히 제가 엄청 많이 쓰거든요. If this kind of slang is comfortable for you to use, go ahead and try it. 근데 감정에 대해서 말할 때 왜 그렇게 느꼈냐? 간단하게 설명을 해야 됩니다. 여기는 because I got to go skydiving. This main point has everything. 그러니까 대충 제가 오픽 grader이었으면 I know exactly what she's gonna talk about. She's gonna be talking about her trip over at Switzerland, and it was a very memorable, awesome trip because she got to go skydiving. The message here is super clear. Now, IH students tend to focus on themselves. You know, I went to Switzerland, I did this, I did that, which is very good. For AL, you want another level of complexity. In this case, Rachel is talking about not just her going to Switzerland, but she adds another person into her story. She says she went to Switzerland with her sister. 다른 사람들에게 얘기할 수도 있으면 그 대답이 훨씬 더 고급스럽습니다. 여기서 근데 진짜로 혼자 갔다. 그러면 이렇게 말해도 됩니다. I went to Switzerland alone about a few months ago. You know, I really wanted to bring my sister, but unfortunately, she couldn't make it. Anyway, blah blah blah. For AL, always try to add another person or group of people other than yourself. That'll make the quality of your answers much higher.
And talking about it makes me want to call on my sister and go there again.
Now look at this part over here. 오, 갑자기 또 가고 싶네. 이 expression을 자연스럽게 이렇게 영어를 하니까 너무 natural하고 퀄리티도 엄청 올라갔습니다. 근데 여러분 여기에서 just 단어를 넣어보세요. And just talking about it makes me wanna go there again. 근데 레이첼을 또 다른 사람에 대해서 얘기했으니까 이 센텐스가 더 길게 될 수밖에 없네요. Makes me wanna call up my sister and go there again. 동생에 대해서 이미 얘기했으니까 저절로 이 문장이 더 좋아졌습니다.
Anyway, we stayed there just for a few days and I didn't have that much time to travel. So I had no choice but to choose only one activity. And if only I had more time.
Anyway, we stayed there just for a few days. The here is actually very important. But notice how she used the word just here. Very, very good. Her sentence is more specific and detailed this way. 근데 이제 메인 포인트는 skydiving이니까 계속 이제 이 skydiving 쪽으로 가고 있습니다. 여기 다음 문장에 보면은 And I didn't have that much time to travel. 시간이 많이 없었다. 여기서 이제 계속 포커스하면서 skydiving 쪽으로 가는 거죠. So I had no choice but to choose only one activity. 메인 포인트가 너무 클리어 해가지고 이 one activity가 뭔지 이제 아시죠? skydiving. And if only I had more time. 자, 이제 여기 단어 보십시오. if를 쓸 때마다 creative 될 수밖에 없어요. 시간이 좀 더 있었으면. It really adds a higher level of complexity into your answers. It makes it way more sophisticated and yet simple at the same time. If you really want the AL mark, really practice using the word if. In this case, she used if only I had more free time. The words if only is also a very great expression for you to practice in using.
Anyway, I decided to go skydiving as my main activity. And believe it or not, I didn't feel nervous at all before I went skydiving. But when I was about to jump, I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this, I can't.
Anyway, I decided to go skydiving as my main activity. Now she gets into the meat of her answer, skydiving. But notice it took her a bit of time to finally get there, but not in an awkward way. It was actually quite natural, and she's only talking about one thing, skydiving. 다른 학생들은 어떻게 합니까? skydiving에 대해서 얘기할 수도 있고, 그 다음에 갑자기 또 부대에서도 말하고, 그 다음에 뭐 사람들 대해서 말하고, and then they continue on by talking about the land and the mountains and the skyscrapers and the clouds and whatever. 1분 안에서 그거 다 말하고 싶으니까 그 포커스가 갑자기 없어집니다. 근데 레이첼은 이 한 가지에 계속 말할 수 있으니까 그 skilled이 AR 받을 수밖에 없는 skilled입니다. 그리고 또 계속 여기 보면은 Rachel does a really excellent job in expressing how she felt instead of just talking about what she did. 많은 학생들은 내가 뭐 했냐 설명을 하지 그거를 했으니까 내가 어떻게 느꼈냐를 많이 설명을 안 하더라고요. When you are learning a new language, language, being able to elaborate on your feelings is the best way to increase your language speaking ability. It's a very personal way to communicate, and also it is a lot easier to understand. Now let's take a look at this next part, and believe it or not, a very excellent expression to use, especially when something is out of the ordinary. And believe it or not, I didn't feel nervous at all before I went skydiving. 한 만큼도 nervous 안 했다. At all. 너무너무 좋습니다. 근데 많이 한국 사람들은 at all 하거든요. all이 아니라 all입니다. At all. I didn't feel nervous at all. But when I was about to jump, 이런 간단한 디테일을 레이첼이 너무 잘하네요. 그 jump 하는 순간에, 그 jump 하기 전에 너무너무 좋습니다. 여기 이제 quotation을 썼죠. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I can't. We should know by now that when you're answering a past experience question, if you add a direct quotation, it really makes your answer dynamic and at the same time shows your grammar skill. You are using past tense, and then when you're adding a direct quotation, you're using present tense, but without making a mistake. Never forget the power of direct quotations.
And then I think I passed out for a few seconds, and then when I woke up, and it was the most thrilling thing that I ever experienced.
And then I think I passed out. This is another very great detail because as she was falling, she expresses that just for a few seconds 갑자기 기절을 했다. 근데 여기 다음 부분에 this was probably the worst part of her answer because she tries to self-correct herself way too many times. In her mind, she's trying to do a better job and tries to make the message clearer, but we as the listeners, we are actually getting way more confused because with all this self-correcting, the message becomes a little bit weaker, broken, unclear. So in this case, if you make a mistake, just use a filler and continue on and make sure that the message is not broken. Okay, so something like this. And then when I woke up and I was okay, 여기 틀렸어요. 여기서 이제 filler를 사용하면서 okay, you know, when I woke up, I lost all my fear and I thought it was the most thrilling thing that I've ever experienced.
And next thing you know, I was on the ground. And you know what? After this test, I think I should have called my sister for round 2.
And the next thing you know, I was on the ground. This is a very awesome idiom to use, but I would definitely use the word the just to make it a little bit more accurate. The next thing you know, I was on the ground. 갑자기 이렇게 됐다. Excellent expression. And you know what? 여기는 이제 레이첼이 가장 잘 쓰는 expression. 그 다음에 여기 다음 부분은 되게 좋은 아이디어입니다. But again, she was a little too focused on using perfect grammar, and because of that, the message became a little bit weaker. Now, this is what she was trying to say. Oh, after this test, I think I should call up my sister for round 2. This is no doubt an amazing conclusion, but because Rachel had a little bit of a slip up, she focused too much on self-correction. Again, use a filler and continue on. Oh, after this test, I think I should call up my sister. Okay, I should call up my sister and, you know, go for round 2. 그런 식으로 하면은 그 메시지가 되게 쉽게 들릴 수 있습니다.
This is 오픽노잼. 이제 2019년이니 동영상들을 더 올릴 노력을 해보겠습니다.
Boom! Okay. I went to Switzerland with my sister about a few months ago. And it was freaking awesome because, well, you know, I got to go skydiving. And just talking about it makes me want to call up my sister and go there again. Okay, anyway, we stayed there just for a few days, and I didn't have that much time to travel. And so I had no choice but to choose only one activity. Oh, if only I had more time. Anyway, I decided to go skydiving as my main activity. And believe it or not, I didn't feel nervous at all before I went skydiving. But when I was just about to jump, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I can't. And then I think I passed out for a few seconds. But then when I woke up, I lost all my fear, and I thought it was the most thrilling thing that I've ever experienced. And the next thing you know, I was on the ground. And you know what? After this test, I think I should definitely call up my sister for round 2.